I don't know what happened to this tree. There are so many things that can happen in life. Maybe an unexpected lightning strike damaged the tree. Maybe someone cut the tree down on purpose simply because it was in their way. Perhaps the tree simply snapped in the middle of a storm and strong winds that became more than it could bear. Maybe the tree became diseased and slowly lost strength from within. What we do know is that this tree became so damaged that it was no longer even identified or called a tree. The tree became known as a stump. After all, there was not much left there to resemble a tree. No branches, no leaves, no fruit. The root was there, the base was there, but nothing to indicate hope for the future. The stump is a picture of hopelessness, loss, and despair. The Bible language is elegant, flamboyant, and colorful. Though the tree is cut down, though its roots grow old in the earth, though its stump lay dying in the ground, yet at the scent of water, the stump will bud, bring forth branches, and begin to live again. All that was needed was just a little mist in the air, just the fragrance of water, and the tree begins to feel new life, new hope, and new opportunity. This story is in the Bible for a reason. God breathed this word to bring you and I supernatural inspiration from his word. Obviously, the story is not about the tree. The story is about you. And it is about me. I'm just here to say this morning, if he's watching over sparrows and taking care of lilies, you can be sure he's watching over you. And he knows what you're going through. And he knows what's happening in your life. You're more valuable than an old stump. You're more valuable than the lilies. You're more important than the sparrows or the ravens. You're the apple of God's eye. David went so far as to say in the book of Psalms, the Lord hath been mindful of us. You may be broken, wounded, lost, despairing, or whatever, but I'm here to tell you today, there's hope for you in your life. If someone cut you down on purpose and laid the axe to your life and hurt you, and you don't know if you can recover, I've come to tell you, there's hope for you. If you've been getting weaker, it seems, through the weeks and years because of bitterness or unforgiveness or something that happened to you way back in time, there is hope. If there's hope for a tree, there's hope for you, and there's hope for me. It's no accident that this story is in the book of Job. Job's life is a picture of hopelessness and loss and despair. We call it Job's tribulation. Job going through so many troubles and going through so much difficulty in his life and losing so much. This story is put in the middle of Job, I believe, for a reason, because Job's end was greater than his beginning. Don't give up. Don't quit. Don't despair. There's hope. There's hope in Jesus. There's hope in this house. There's something in this atmosphere today. I felt it when we were singing. I felt it when we were praying. I felt the presence of the Lord come here. He's here to lift us up and lift us. God's not shocked by the fact that we stumble and fall and mess up and make a mess out of our lives. It's the human condition. Sin is humanity's great problem. And we've had this problem for a long, long time. David said, but as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. I was off course. I had slipped from my way. I was a long way from what God really had intended for me to be. Maybe you feel like that old stump I'm preaching about today. something far less than you were created or designed to be. Something in you tells you that your destiny is far greater than what you're living. Something in you tells you that I'm better than this. I was made for more than this. God has more for me. There's got to be more to life than what I'm living right now. What happened? What went wrong? How did I get here to where have you ever just kind of stopped and looked at your life and said, how did I get here? How did I end up here? This is not what I meant. This is not what I had hoped for or what I thought would happen. Well, there's hope. Isaiah, it says, here's the way it winds it all up, that they might be called the trees of righteousness and the planting of the Lord, that he may be glorified. No, you're not supposed to be a cut off stump laying and dying and root decaying. You're to be a tree planted by the rivers of water that shall not be moved, spreading out your branches and bringing forth fruit and soaking in the sunshine of a better and brighter day. There's hope for you, my friend. The power and the uniqueness of the Christian faith is the power of the resurrection. The resurrection is unique to Christianity. Unique in that it is miraculous and energizing. This event of Resurrection Sunday. It is the resurrection that validates the crucifixion. It is the resurrection that brings power and emphasis and force to the faith of Christianity. One of the reasons I like being of the Pentecostal persuasion of Christianity is because we put a high emphasis on this resurrection power. We have a deep understanding of the power of the resurrection to lift us up. Jesus knew what it was to suffer. He suffered in his physical body, finally giving way to the pain. He finally died on Calvary's cross. But that's not the end of the story. The third day was resurrection day. The crucifixion was dying day. Then there was a day in the ground where it didn't look like anything would ever be again, when all hope was gone and nothing was moving. But just as sure as the sun came up on resurrection morning, the stone was rolled away and he came out of the grave. Sports Illustrated, in their top 10 greatest comebacks of all time, listed at number 1. They said it took place in 33 AD. When Jesus Christ stunned his critics and the Roman Empire with the power of his resurrection. It was the greatest comeback of all time. It looked like he was out and gone and dead, but death couldn't hold him. Death couldn't hold him. Resurrection power is the power to come back from a failure. Resurrection power is the power to get up again. Resurrection power is the power to recover from a fall. Your critics are not the author of your future. Jesus is the author and the finisher of your faith. Cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. But Jesus said, I am come that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. Life more than heartbeats, life more than breaths, life more than minutes, hours, days, and years. A life worth living, a life worth waking up for, a life filled with joy, a life filled with the peace of God. It's resurrection power. The baptism of the Holy Spirit. It's available this morning in this house. The baptism of the Holy Spirit is a baptism. It's a well of water. It's a baptism of abundant life. It'll bring light into your darkness. It'll bring hope into your despair. It'll give you power you never knew, and hope and joy and peace, and you can recover. You were meant to be better than you are right now. You were meant to do more than you're doing right now. Don't satisfy yourself where you are. It's time to step up to a new level. It's time to come up to a new plane. You can be better than you are. You can finish stronger than you're living. There's more for you than where you are right now today.